Hey guys, how are you all? Hope so you all are doing well. So let's start the story without any further conversation. Okay. Yoongi is walking in the room and his phone buzzes. He see the notification. I want to meet you, he said, and Yoongi eyes widened. Yoongi, what? He want to meet me? No, no. How can I meet him? But I want to meet him also. Where? He messaged him and then see the reply. We are in the one house. It's your choice, he said, and Yugi become more shocked. It's me. he read the he read the letter. He know who's Yungi. He is thinking. He look up and see Jimin stand in front of him. Feeling finally he got his and now he's feeling Jimin take his step toward him and stand in front of and stand in front of him. Both don't know what they said now. They could speak something, but the luck is not at their side. That Jimin, you are here. Yoongi turn. He see her. Yoongi, you are here. You know mom well. She sent me to check if he wants something or not. Jimin, thank you so much, but there is really no need for all this. You take rest, Yoongi. Yeah, go and sleep, he said, and Jimin seeing him. She nodded and about to go. Hey, Anna, said Jimin, I want your help, he said, and Yoongi raised his eyebrow. The what? Jimin come in the room, he said, and Yoongi seeing him. Yoongi in mind. What? We need to talk. And he is going, don't he? His feelings, what she feel after reading those letters and saying the other things. And then, okay, let's go. I am not feeling sleepy also. Well, she said and giggled, and then they both go from there. Or is kidding? It's kidding with Yoongi. Leave Yoongi stand there behind. Well, that's good happen with him. And the next scene is, next day in kitchen. Yoongi come. He heard Jimin giggle voice. He see Jimin and smile appear on his face. Jimin and Jin is making breakfast. He is just helping Jin. Jimin, see Jin, see Jin Hyung. I did right, Jin. But Jimin, please, Jin. Okay, well, you have to learn something very important. Jimin, what? He said while cutting the veggies. Jin, coffee, he said, and Jimin smiled. He looked at Jin. Jimin, it's impossible for me. Jin chuckled. Jin, why? This is important. Jimin, I don't learn. He make by himself. And why I learn? Jin, so we need to tell you why you learn. Jimin, there is nothing. You you are thinking Jin. You are thinking Jin Hyung. We are just friends. Yoongi, really? And whom I am talking about? Jimin Yoongi. Jin, when I take Yoongi name, he said, and Jimin don't know what he said further. Jimin, you are no, you said coffee. Jin saw not only Yoongi is the person who drink coffee in this world, right? Jimin, yeah, right. Maybe I think much, he said, and Yoongi finally entered in the kitchen. He don't hear their conversation as he is busy. Yoongi, good morning, Jin. Good morning, Yoongi. You want something? You are here. Yoongi, yeah. Where is Namjoon? Jin, you come from living room and he is in living room, right? Yoongi, oh yeah, I remember. I am here to take. He start to look here and there. Jimin is feeling. Yoongi, water, yeah, water. Jin, but the water is already present in the living room. Jimin, don't you put the water in living room? Jimin, I do. He said without turning. Jin, wait, let me check. Jimin, no, you stay here. I check. He said, and he run from there. Yoongi, if the water is in living room, I take from there. Thank you. Jin, such simply you him. Yoongi, huh? You know why you are asking. Jin, try your best to talk with him. Yoongi, and he is running. Jin, it happens, and you have to do so much struggle. He said, and Yoongi signed. He go from the kitchen. And Jin chuckled to see their cuteness. He know Jimin also started him, and he's just and feeling nervous, nothing else. 10 20 तक मेरा वॉइस ओवर खत्म होने sorry. After that, exporting and then uploading. Okay, today is Sunday, so everyone is in the living room. They all are busy in talking, and Jimin is playing with Minhyun as he don't want to. Still, he is stranger for them, huh? He is still stranger for them. Only he think there was a खोलियो. Only he think as Mrs. Min already accept him as his son, and the others also. Mrs. Min, my friend is coming today. She want to, and it's been 3 years of their Namjoon. She's kid mom. Mrs. Min, she's not now. It's perfect age for her. Her studies is also complete. What you said, Yoongi? Yoongi asked from her if she is ready. Then we don't have any problem. If she is not, no one her. Jin, I already asked from, and she said she herself want to get now. Are you sure? Jin nodded. Mrs. Min saw in night. If in night they talk with us about their, we'll listen them. Mrs. Min, Jinsan, I help you in cooking. Jin, no mom, I do. And now Jimin helped me a lot by the way, he said, and Yoongi said Jimin, who's busy who's busy to play with Minhyun. He smiled to he smiled to see him. Mrs. Min, why don't you him Yoongi? I want to make him my son. If you don't do this, I promise I ask him. And Mrs. Min, after he can take, I tell you, I don't want to him. See how cute and oh, how cute and innocent he is. She said, and Yoongi agreed with his mom and Jimin. Come holding Minhyun hand. Minhyun, can we go out for some time? Jin, how can you go? You are kids and Jimin also don't know the ways here. Jimin, this is what I am trying to make him understand, but no, he is not listening me. You take Yoongi with you, Minhyun. Yoongi, uncle, come with me. Jimin, please. Yoongi, what I get, Min, huh? You take my favorite toys for one day. Yoongi, alright, done. You get ready in 5 minutes, he said, and Jimin is thinking he don't go. Of course, he is feeling so from him, and he don't have to message him and tell him. Mrs. Min, go, Jimin son, you also get ready. Minhyun don't go without you. Jimin, auntie, I go with him, but I am not feeling. I talk with him. He go. Mrs. Min, why son? Why you have? If you said I call doctor. Uh, Jimin, no, no, auntie. I take rest. I will be fine. She said. He said, and she nodded. And Jimin go in the room, not before looking at Shungi, who's thinking something Jin say all this and sigh. Next scene is hmm, Jimin sit on Jimin sit on the bed playing with his fingers when someone knock on the door. Jimin, come in. Jin, come. Jin, hope so. I don't disturb you. Jimin, no, no. Jin, no, no. Jin, come. Sit. Jin sit in front of him. Jin, I make tea, so I make for you also. He said and offered him the cup. Jimin smiled and said thanks. They silently start to drink tea. Jin, in just some days you make really good place in our hearts, Jimin. Jimin, you all are so kind, Jin Young. Jin smiled. Jin Young is also kind. Because of him we meet. Jimin nodded. Jimin, I always treat you as my younger brother, and you may think me as your elder brother. Jimin, I do, Hyung. Jin, then talk with your Hyung. Tell me, you Yoongi? He asked, and Jimin looking down, he nodded. Jimin smiled. Jin, then why you are running from him? Jimin, I am not running, Hyung. It's just you know how I come here and all that. I don't want in some steps of life he think I chose him as a he said and Jin chuckled. Jin, no, Jimin, don't. He also you so much and you know what today he feel. Jimin, huh? Why? Jin, you remember in the living room when you to go with him because of your tone. I understand you are not going because of Yoongi and you also feel, but now you explain me. I understand. And you have to tell him also like this you are going from him and this is not right, so now be a good be a good boy both and take step in your forget what happened in past. Jimin, I can really do this. Jin, yes, you can. And if you don't do then Auntie do. Jimin, what she do? He asked, being Jin. She said she talk with you to Yoongi, and you have to listen her. If you don't, she said, he said, and they both chuckled. Jimin, haha. Jimin, really? And then I wait, auntie, to me. No, chup kar. And then I wait, auntie. Jin, and about my brother, he is becoming Jimin. Thank you, Jin Hyung, for guiding me. Jin, I do, Jimin, in every step. And they both each other. Jimin is smiling. To think about all that. Oh, to think about all that. Huh. Jimin come out. Jimin come out from the house. He stopped when he see Yoongi they about to with each other, but Jimin stopped. Both are हाँ? Both are on the both are looking at each other. They don't talk from morning. It's becoming for Jimin to make eye contact with him. Yoongi, Jimin looked at him. Jimin, Yoongi, you are at me? Jimin, huh? No, I am not. Yoongi, then why you are ignoring me? Jimin, me? No, I am not. Yoongi, really? Jimin, yeah, even I am finding you. Yeah, Yoongi, but you know I go out. Jimin, huh? Oh yeah, I forget Shungi. Remember, this is how cat bite Jin. He smiled. Yoongi, you are feeling, he said, and Jimin see him with his innocent eyes and make up out. Jimin, when you know about this, still asking me, Yoongi, why you are feeling nervous, Jimin? You don't even tell me. You me from a long time, and what I said, Yoongi, I wait for this moment when you fall for me, said, and Jimin see him. Jimin, I don't you. Yoongi, really? He said, and Jimin for him nodded. Yoongi take his step toward him, and Jimin back. With his Yoongi see him with his widened eyes. Jimin, you are you are saying something? Jimin, I don't. Yoongi, what said again? He said, and Jimin looking down. He's feeling his cheeks turn sharper. Jimin, auntie, come, he said, and Yoongi hurriedly back. Jimin see him, he started laughing. Jimin, you become, he said, and run inside the house. Yoongi see him and he chuckled. If we see Jimin 3 months ago and now, there is a huge difference between his personalities. Okay, Jimin sit on. Jimin sit on the shelf. He is watching her, who's becoming nervous without any reason. Her is sitting outside. Jin, hey, nothing happens. Be confident. No, I don't. And I don't go in front of him. I decide. Yes, I don't go. Jimin, nothing happens. He don't such anything in front of your family. If he even said this, I am looking so beautiful, I will buy Jimin. Jimin, come on, this is common. Nothing happens. Come and look at you. Huh? Got to know about my brother. You and start talking with it. Jimin, the thing is different. What different, Jimin? Jimin, we stay in we stay in one house, so that's why. Jin, you both stay silent. Go, and you go out and meet with them. Then come here. Even I sent Jimin with you. Jimin, na, I don't go. Jin signed. Jin, okay, I come with you. He said, and she sign as no, and then her come. She turned to see the boy, see her, and smile as he know she is failing. Jimin see him, and his smile. Jimin, you kangaroo, you are here. You chick, what you are doing here, Jimin? To call me this, I disown your head. He said and make everyone sure, even Yoongi Namjoon also. I do the same. Jimin, you are guys. You both know each other. Each other. Of course, we both know each other. Jimin Namjoon Hyung. Whatever he said everything would be. Uh, we both were class fellows. He is a good student, even. He is a topper, right, Jimin? Jimin, no, no, this is not, this is truth. Yoongi, can you explain? You explain, please. Jimin, we both are class fellows, and also on the very first day of university, he water on me, and that was the beginning we become. That was not true. I thought to my friend, but he come. That was not my Jimin. It's my. I come on. Maybe he said, and Jimin signed. Jimin, how can you, how can you spend life with him? If she can stay here with you, she can spend life with me also. He said, and Jimin make a pout, and here Namjoon and Yoongi understand. They both know each other. They both know each other much. Yoongi, okay. Okay, now it's enough. Hope so you both become friends. Said him. He gave me my money back, which he I him and do friendship. He said, and Jimin is right, and Jimin, oh hello, I tell you, and then take from me. Really, yeah, guys. He come my money and said he's going in the canteen. Jimin, so what? I inform him, Jin, and Jimin is bubbly type boy. I agree, but you also you also do this in your university life? He asked and smiled, and she now take his whole university history from Jimin. And Jimin know about this, and Jimin at other and at if we had, I swear you chick, I don't leave you. Jimin Chale kangaroo, he said, and Yoongi hold Jimin hand. Yoongi, you come with me. I really don't know. You are so good in Jimin. I don't do, but when I do, no one, he said proudly. I am congratulations, Yoongi. The symptoms start to come, he said, and they all start to laughing. Jimin see his hand. He hurriedly free. Simbo, huh? Jimin see his hand. He hurriedly free his hand and he go from there. Other also come out from the kitchen. Mama come which way Simba? Where did अच्छा वो other also start to go out from the kitchen. They all meet here. Some more days Some more days pass, they all are doing the preparations. Yoongi and Mrs. Min always argument because of something, and now also what they are doing. Yoongi, mom, you don't do anything. Mrs. Min, I do, and no one stop me, not even you. Yoongi, mom, please, huh? Mrs. Min, Yoongi, I always listen, but I don't listen you anymore now. You do what I said. And nothing happens. My moisturizer among one. Yoongi mom, you are not understanding. Mrs. Min, you stay silent. You get? She said, make Yoongi shocked. Mom is right, Yoongi, you stay silent, mom. You stay silent, mom. But Mrs. Min, don't listen him. Mrs. Min, Jimin, son, come here. Jimin, who's passing from here, stop. He see everyone. Jimin cut off by Mrs. Min. Mrs. Min, come here, son. Sit with me. Jimin go and sit beside her. Yoongi sign he really want to talk with Jimin. He think Jimin feel like this. He ask him and tell his mom, Mrs. Min, Jimin son, I ask you um huh, Mrs. Min, Jimin son, I ask you something and in simple way. मैं simple way लिखना था मैं smile में लिखा था in simple way. Would you like to Macaulay she asked, can Yoongi see his mom with done face? Mrs. Min, he just told. Become fast he nodded with a smile. Mrs. Min, so I take this as yes. She said she said, and Jimin nodded. Mrs. Min, see, he said yes, and you are feeling. Jimin, I am not feeling. It just I don't want to feel. Mrs. Min, I don't set him to in front of everyone. In front of us, he feel. She said, make everyone shocked. Jimin, he looking down, and Yoongi sighed to see his mom. Mrs. Min is something else. Mrs. Min, it's final on day we do, and when you said we do the she said, and they all agree. Minute, don't you wait for me. Jimin could speak something, but Yoongi too. He speak. Yoongi, no, he don't. I don't. No, he don't. Jimin Minhyun, you said Jimmy. I do. Minhyun, for now you do with him, and after that I do. Okay. Jimin chuckled. Light ban kar. Jimin chuckled and he nodded. Minhyun, he's Yoongi. We see in future. We see in future. Okay, so the next scene start. The day come. The day come. Ahan and get Yoongi. And also, it's reception time. They all are doing dance and some are enjoying. Jimin stand on the side admiring his ring. He just does he really Yoongi? He try his best but he can't forget the words he said to him. He signed and then he feel two hands no and Jimin knows Jimin you are here. Oi oi. Yoongi, what are you thinking? Jimin, nothing, just admiring the ring. Yoongi, you like the ring? Jimin, yeah, the ring is so beautiful. I also want the ring. The next check start. Okay. It's so beautiful, Yoongi, and you were you? The ring. What about him? Jimin, he is also okay. Yoongi, just okay. Jimin, of course, okay. Yoongi, you sure? Jimin, yeah, he said, and Yoongi turned him. Jimin, see him. Jimin, Yoongi, what you are doing? Everyone is here. Yoongi, what you said? I am just okay, Jimin, or what you want to hear? Yoongi, like, you don't know, he said, and Jimin signed to see him. Yoongi, tell me. Jimin, no, I don't said. He said, and him gladly no one see his sign, and he run from there with a big pouch on his face. खत्म हो गया अब कौन सा सीन आना है the living room one uh, time passed. Everyone got busy in their work. Namjoon and Yoongi go in office. Yoongi father is really a respectful man in the village, so they handle their father place. Yoongi become Jimin, and as Namjoon friend requested, he may know Mr. Park and something like this happens. Right now, Jin. Right now, also, Jin go to pick Minhyun from school. Mrs. Min is in her room sleeping, and Jimin sits on the couch. When oh, when 2 to 3 cars come and stop in front of the house, at the same moment, Jimin see the cars. He know who is he, and he know this happened one day, and then this happened. The door got open and stand on the side. Jimin also stand up to see them and hear his father come inside the house at the coincidence. Yoongi and Namjoon also come. Yoongi see all this. He know who's them and they bow at Yoongi. His rank is high from them. Jimin, who you are? He asks, and Jimin see his father. He go and Mr. Park back. Jimin see him. Yoongi see and stand in front of Mr. Park. He know he have to give answer now. Jimin back and see his father. Mr. Park hold his hand. He know his son is Mr. Park. We talk later, he said, and Jimin see his stare from his big innocent eyes. Yoongi, sir. He signed his every to go from here and Jimin also go. Till that Jin and Mrs. Min also come out. They all sit in the living room. Yoongi, I need to explain, sir. Mr. Park, as a father, I would to hear. what happened with my son, and I am not with him. But on the side, I am glad I chose a person like you for him. But it's also so feeling for me when my aunt son think I will be like them. He's not in, he always sees me like them. I never show him how much I'm with him. He is right on his place, but Yoongi, why don't you him? Yoongi, I would Mr. Park, but Jimin think you will be like them. So I have to leave some. Mr. Park, it's me who always stay busy in work and also with my family. Mrs. Min, it's your personal matter, Mr. Park, but we are happy. You understand him. There is something we need to tell you. Yoongi and Jimin is, she said, and for some moments he stays silent. Mr. Park, Jimin is happy. Then I am also. And then I also, he said, and they all smiled. Mr. Park. I come Korea after a long time. I want to take Jimin with me. Mrs. Min looked at everyone. Mrs. Min, if Jimin want, then you take him, she said, and they all become. But he is his father. Jin, call him. Mr. Park stand up and went to him. He on his forehead and Jimin. He stand on the side. Jimin, you come late. Mr. Park, you know your dad is always late. Can you your dad? Jimin nodded. When? Jimin nodded. When? He know his dad. Why he don't him? Mr. Park, you come with me. You come with your dad, Jimin, but you go back after 2 to 3 days, Mr. Park. I won't go anywhere. You come with me. I do, my son. I want to see how he look when he become. He said, and Jimin smiled. Jimin, I miss you so much, Dad. Mr. Park, miss too, son. Let's go home. Jimin, Dad, I am. Mr. Park, hmm. I know, son. And I am so happy for you. Jimin, really? Mr. Park nodded. Mr. Park, yes. And when you get Jimin, I don't think about this, he said simply. Mr. Park, so now can I take my son with me? He said, and they all nodded. Jimin went with everyone. He met with Mrs. Min. Jimin, I'll miss you so much. Mrs. Min, come soon, son. Jimin, I will. You take care of your son. Mrs. Min, it's a little bit, she said, and they both started laughing. Jimin looked at Yoongi, who was talking with Mr. Park, of course, telling him about everything. Mr. Park, okay, so you come after 1 week for the Yoongi, I will, sir. He said and bowed at him. Jimin, let's go, Dad. Mr. Park, yeah, let's go. It's really so nice to meet you all. I would like to invite you on dinner next week. Please come. Mrs. Min, we will surely. Mr. Park, now we just only want the reason to meet Jimin. Jimin, you no need any reason. Jimin, come in. Come in his room. He sit on the bed. He's check his mobile, and when he see the 20 missed calls and messages, Jimin, what? Oh my, he don't even leave me now. He think and call him. In one wing, Yoongi attend the call. Jimin, sorry, he said, but there is the silence. Jimin, Yoongi, speak something. I know I don't attend your calls, but I was with Dad. He spent time with me after a long time. Hope so. You understand, please. Yoongi said something, but no response. Jimin, Yoongi said something, please. He heard, And Jimin don't know how he react. आई मेरी साइड थक गई वही होगी and Jimin what Yoongi Jimin you are not at me Yoongi smile no Jimin smile Yoongi I am not at you I understand you Jimin sign in real life Jimin I thought you don't talk with me Yoongi I just want your happiness nothing else Jimin why you with that much Yoongi well I myself also don't know about this Jimin really Yoongi yes and now sleep good night Jimin but he could speak something but Yoongi cut the call he signed to see him Yoongi he is too much he called me to sit he think and his pillow and then lay on the bed and soon fell in sleep where is my hair catch Jimin come out. Jimin come out from the mansion. He go and Mrs. Min saw his dad invite them. Mrs. Min, oh my Jimin, I miss you so much. Mrs. Min saw. Think how much I miss you, Jimin. Jin Hyung, Jin, how are you? Are you Jimin? Jimin in front of you. Jin, you are looking so beautiful, Jimin. Really? Thank you. He met with everyone. His eyes fell on someone. Jin, he is not here. Finding someone, sorry. Jimin, huh? Jin, he said he has some work, so he is not here. He said, and Jimin smiled. Jimin, Jimin, you also come? Why you take him, Mr. Park, Jimin? Jimin sighed. Jimin saw that. He rolled his eyes. And Jimin raised his eyebrow. Jimin what? And wait and watch, he said, and he go inside the mansion. Jimin signed Jin, but he also signed as he don't know. Jimin in mind, he mumble and go inside. He sit with them for some times and then come out to see Yoongi come or not. He do this for almost 2 to 3 times and now mate tell him, Yoongi come, Jimin come. Jimin come out. He don't care about anything him. It's a little bit shocking for Yoongi, but he have. Jimin, you come Seoul, you have to meet me first, then go somewhere. Then go somewhere. But no. Yoongi, I come last night and trust me. You were looking so while sleeping, he said, and Jimin back. He saying him, Jimin, it's right. Yoongi, know your black dress, right? Jimin, you come in my room. Yoongi, I just follow your words, he said, and Jimin is also. Jimin, Yoongi, he start trying. Yoongi, Chagal, Yoongi, let's go inside the mansion. Jimin, and they both go inside. Well, this is a little bit shocking for Jimin. They all sit They all sit on the dining table, talking with each other and doing dinner. Jimin and Yoongi sit beside each other. Yoongi holds Jimin's hand. Jimin sees him, but he stays silent. Mr. Park. Oh, Mr. Park, what you think about Jimin? Mrs. Min. She said, and everyone attention on them. Mr. Park, in this week I observe my son start to you all so much. He meets you all also. He may don't tell me, but I can see I myself want to talk with you about that. You can ask from them, and if they said yes, then we do. Jimin, I am ready, he said, and they all look at Jimin hide his face in his hands and they all chuckle. Mr. Park, my son is always ready. You tell us, Yoongi. Always, huh? You tell us, Yoongi. Yoongi, I am also. Mr. Park, think once again. I am giving you. My son have so much moods. Jimin, please, Dad. I am so innocent. Mr. Park, I know. And when he is with you, and from when he is with you, he also knows, so don't tell us. He said and made Jimin make a big pout. He know his father is talking like this. Mr. Park, you tell us the day and date, Mrs. Min. Uh, Mrs. Min is their, it's their choice. Don't ask from Jimin. If he said tomorrow, how can I do preparations? Jimin Namjoon Hyung. I am not that much. Yoongi, then what about after 1 month? Jimin, I will you. He whispered, but enough, they all hear. Mr. Min, what, Mrs. Min, what about next week? It's too early, Uncle. Jimin have to do shopping and many more. Jimin, you stay silent. I don't have to do anything after 1 week. A week is present. Perfect. Mr. Park, my son, what want this? Now I don't change the date, Jin. I see Jimin new side today, he said, and they all continue to talk. Jimin want they all stay here for 1 day, but as they that is held after 1 week, so they have to go to do the preparations. And about Chungi work, he go to do and he do his work. Amazing. Yoongi stand on the stage looking so, and Jimin stand in front of him, looking so beautiful. Jimin is looking a little bit nervous also. Yeah, Jimin is looking. Hey, and Jimin is looking a little bit nervous also. Yoongi, you okay? Hmm. यार Yoongi, you okay? Jimin looked at him and nodded with a smile. Jimin looked at him and nodded with a smile. Yoongi, you are looking so beautiful. Jimin, thank you. Father, can we start? He asked, and both hold each other hand and then stand in front of each other straightly. Father, I mean Yoongi, did you accept Park Jimin? Yoongi, I do. Park Jimin, did you accept me, Yoongi? He asked, and Jimin see him. Yoongi give answer, Jimin. Jimin turn and she see. And here really don't want to do voiceover, so I do this. Hmm. Okay. So Mrs. Min, Jimin, what you think, Mom? What? I said, Mrs. Min. Let me think. Yoongi, guys, what are you doing? Jimin, think before giving answer, he said, and Jimin giggled. Yoongi, I take my. He think and Jimin say him. Jimin, I do. I announce you both, and you both may. He said, Jimin, Yoongi not on. He said, and Yoongi on his cheeks. They all start laughing. They all start clapping, and Mr. Park come. And he meet with Jimin and Yoongi also, of course. Hmm. I am feeling sleepy, but I am not feeling sleepy. I am feeling sleepy, and I am not feeling sleepy. I will finish the voiceover before 4 a.m. Amazing. Last scene and the last text. Don't I forget to mention third last and all this. Mr. Park, always stay happy. Always stay happy, my son. Jimin, you too, Dad. Mr. Park, you too, son. He said, and then Jimin saying him, it's just been, we always make him happy, she said, and his smile, he trust him, and then they start a new happy life.